Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, Cowboys officially out of the playoffs. Are Dez and Jason Garrett on their way out next? NBA Christmas games causing controversy in LeBron land. College football playoff predictions and more starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to Debate Amongst Friends, live from YouTube and on Twitch. I am your moderator, the Professor John Gotti, and what
The dangest thing.
It's the Doc, ladies and gentlemen. He's right here next to me. Doc, how you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing great.
Are you delivering B-dorms to Pissants?
I am just daily doses of reality. We are live here from the great state of North Carolina for the second time. But Chris is not going to troll us anymore. We can't be contained, and we are back. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to apologize to everyone out there for the technical difficulties on the first try, but as they say, the show must go on, and that's what we're going to do. You wasn't able to hear us, so we're going to start it from the top.
Absolutely. And we actually started by saying the Cowboys are out of the playoffs. A lot of people are celebrating. Some people are salty. Some people don't know what to think. What were your initial reactions?
I was just enjoying those salty tears as I drank them.
I mean, it looked like a Morton sale out there.
I mean, that Himalaya salt is real.
It really was. I mean, they really made a whole salt rock, salt cave.
Oh, no.
Salt
Oh,
salt
no.
everywhere.
Okay.
But, I mean, the Cowboys had a great season. I think a lot of people are disappointed because of their season last year. They thought the momentum would carry over. But clearly, there were some missing pieces. Obviously, Tyron Smith going down for majority season. Of course, the issues with Ezekiel. That name freaking sucks. But, of course, the problem with Ezekiel Elliott. So a lot of questions remain.
I mean, and even if you want to put it out there, too, the struggles of Dak Prescott as well.
And a lot of people, and we're definitely going to get to that. I think a lot of people have talked about Dak.
Oh, they talked about him, right?
I mean, I didn't think he went and regressed that much.
I felt like he looked like the quarterback that is a young quarterback trying to get himself associated into the league.
I feel like this is a quarterback that you expected last year.
Yes. No. Here's the problem. and I mentioned this off the podcast.
You did.
I said Dak had a brilliant season last year.
Absolutely.
But that's because there were no scouting reports on him heading into the NFL.
Just the
And
bowl games.
That coupling with the dynamic of Zeke Elliott destroying, defensive linemen and trucking over poor defenseless DBs all season last year.
True.
Made Dak look like an absolute superstar. People started calling him the second coming of Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. And I'm just like, guys, calm down. It's only the first season. And the Cowboy fan base told me I was crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm obviously a Cowboy hater.
But maybe this was more of a sophomore slump.
And it could necessarily do that, but the problem is they put so much hype on Dak heading into this season. So no matter how you cut it, well, he's supposed to be the person to still elevate them even though they didn't have Zeke. So they made it sound like, and I'm talking about them boys.
Them boys, I get it.
They made it sound like that the boys is gonna be all right.
But I mean, you have to think about it. They do have an opportunity to go 8-8, so they're going to go potentially still equal to or above 50%. I mean, we're talking about 20-12 as a starter. I guess 20-13 if you count
The
playoff loss. Which again, Aaron Rodgers just being Aaron Rodgers, catch no catch. You always have to worry about those things. But is it all on Dak though? I mean, there's several people to accuse here.
It's not all on Dak.
And you know the first person that I want to go after.
The offensive coordinator.
Absolutely not. That's the person that First Take wants to go after. They believe that it's the offensive coordinator. I don't believe that because it's the same offense that they ran last year that they won 12 games.
It's the same offense. Nothing changed.
They lost Tyron Smith. I get it. They lost another lineman. Again, Ezekiel Elliott hurt for 6 games. But they keep making
it sound like Tyron Smith is the offensive line.
He's one of the best left tackles in the game.
And I get that, and I respect that, and more power to him.
Do you want to know who made Tyron Smith more important? Oh, I see what you did there. Adrian Claiborne made Tyron Smith more important.
Yes.
That's where it comes down to play. But ultimately, my gripe goes with number 88.
Ooh.
The playmaker.
Ooh.
The guy who's supposed to be the number one, top 5, dead or alive.
According to J5. Shout out Steve out there.
Yes, shout out to J5. He's the one. Last year, we had this big debate. Dez was a top 5 receiver. And I truly believe, without a shadow of a doubt, with every inkling in my heart, that he should change his number to something else. And I dare anybody to challenge me on that.
I suggest it should have been 0.
I'm going to actually...
Because I felt like he did nothing.
I'm going to actually delete that.
You just deleted the number?
I deleted it right off my paper.
Why would you delete the number?
It's been deleted. No. He should be removed. Actually, I should go and sign into my Madden right now and remove his 88 because he is no playmaker.
Oh, my gosh. Well, and I mentioned this because we was watching the game.
Absolutely.
They had 3 turnovers for the game. Dez was part of 2 of those turnovers.
You did say that. I mean, and the pouting, the complaining, he thought he was Terrell Owens out there, give me the damn ball. That's not going to cut it because, number one, I don't know if it's his route running. I don't know if it's his speed. I don't know.
Both.
I don't know if it's his work ethic. I don't know what it is.
And let's not say work ethics because we can't determine that.
Let me tell you where I can determine that.
Okay.
AJ Green has gotten better.
Yes, he does.
Julio Jones has gotten better. Antonio Brown. Excuse me. I said Antonio Brown, a former Cowboy. Excuse me. Antonio Brown is a Shannon Sharp's lips.
Skip.
Antonio Brown has gotten better. Mike
Who
Evans
is a potential MVP candidate.
Exactly. I think that, barring injuries, of course, Odell Beckham Jr. gets better. But Dez kind of remains the same. It's kind of like a wild child you just throw the ball to, and he just kind of Tasmanian devils down.
Wait a minute. Doc, are you saying that Dez Bryant is like Brandon Marshall?
No. That's a disrespect. That's disrespect to Brandon Marshall. I can't believe you just disrespected Brandon Marshall like that. Brandon Marshall is a consistent 90 to 100 catch receiver.
Yes. So to help out those at home and Skip Bayless, how many games was it with Dez?
I think it was something ridiculous.
Where he didn't have 100 yards in catching? It was like 21 games?
I feel like it was more than that. It could have been 21, but I think 3 is too many. I want to say 1, but if he's a top 5 guy,
I think 1 is
more.
Too many.
It is too many.
If you're going to say this person is up here
with the elite.
With the elite. Elite. Shout out to them.
Absolutely.
If you elevate them up that high, now the people are expecting that same output of production. And if you do not provide that in 21 games without having that high output of yards gained, what can we say?
Well, let me ask you this, because, obviously that goes into something else here. You saw the way that game ended. You saw the way he portrayed himself.
Let's finish up that one, because then we need to talk about the drive that everyone is talking about.
What drive? There's no drives.
When they was at the 3.
Was that this game, or was that the last game?
It was this game.
I didn't even...
it was this game.
They got called for holding.
They got called for holding.
That was it.
And then it was... what, 2 sacks?
I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal.
And
They
then
got called
Dan
for holding.
Bailey pulled Nick Folk.
He did.
In
So, I
fact,
mean, I don't
we
know why they're
called
talking
that
about-
before you even kicked the ball.
So they're mad because the team got called for holding. It moved him back. That means they have to pass now.
Yep.
He gets sacked because, again, Tyron Smith isn't in the game. Even though the sack came from the right side, Dak's got to worry about both sides now, right
Yes, he
and
does.
left. So then he gets sacked, and then Dan Bailey misses the field goal. I mean, Tampa sees this all too many times, so I get it.
Nick Folk, put your mother flipping head down.
Exactly. But my gripe is your star players, Ezekiel Elliott.
I think the only star in that team is the one on the helmet.
Hey, Ezekiel Elliott came to play. He ran the ball hard after serving a 6-game suspension. I need playmaker number 88 to earn his due.
He's no playmaker.
And that's where this next topic comes in, where there are rumors that the Cowboys may ask him to cut his pay. I mean, do you see them potentially cutting Dez Bryant, this number one receiver that they've been coveting for so many years? They've been entertaining this idea.
They did everything for him.
They did.
They did everything, and he took their generosity, their hospitality, and teabagged them.
I mean,
Just teabagged them.
I'm definitely interested to hear what the people, especially the Cowboy fans, if they're out there chiming in, what they have to say about Dez Bryant, because this move could free up $8.5 million.
It could.
But at the same time, we're talking about a potential, I won't say top 5, definitely not top 5, but let's say top 20. I'll go top 20.
I don't know, 21 games without 100-yard catching.
I mean, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's just not in the wrong system. I mean, maybe he's in the wrong system. Maybe he's going through some mental issues. I mean, I don't know. I never really liked the receivers from Oklahoma State anyway.
From what you have been teaching me for the past decade about football, if your offense forces the defense to put 8 in the box,
Right. I mean, there's no
it
question
doesn't
about
get
it.
better than that for a receiver.
I mean, the Seahawks had Dez Bryant one-on-one with a rookie corner the whole
Rookie
game.
quarterback the whole game.
The whole game. He unlocked his dreadlock powers, as some people like to say, and he kind of shut Dez down. I mean, what do you want from me? I mean, that's why I'm asking. I mean, should he? I mean, he's not going to take the pay cut.
He's not going to take the pay cut. So, obviously, it's going to be like a bittersweet breakup.
Or do they trade him?
But who wants him?
The Browns, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
the Browns, many teams, I'm sure, they're not going to trade him to anybody in the NFC East, of course, because I'm sure the Redskins would love to have him. But he'll probably go to a team like the Browns. I could see him going and helping a struggling team. As long as he doesn't go to a top-tier team like the Saints, who will go marching in.
I see what you did there.
Or the Patriots, who, according to some people, pay the referees before the game. But that's neither here nor there. But another guy that comes to mind in this situation whose fault it could be is Jason Garrett.
Absolutely, it's
I
his
mean,
fault.
it could be Jason Garrett. There have been talks, especially on First Take this week. It's a lot of rumbling within Cowboy Nation, fans, media. Do they fire or do they keep Jason Garrett this season? I mean, after the season's over.
The intelligent answer is to let him go. He's been there for 7 seasons.
I mean,
He's been there for 7 seasons
7 seasons as a head coach.
as a head coach.
So he was there for a couple years, I guess, as a coordinator.
Yes.
Okay.
He was the quarterback coach, I believe.
Quarterback coach. So I'm showing here 66 wins, 53 losses, 1-2 in the playoffs, 1-2
In the playoffs.
in the playoffs. That is terrible.
That is terrible.
That's Marvin Lewis terrible.
That is marvelous.
That's Jeff Fisher terrible.
And guess what that one win came with? Wasn't with Dak.
It was with
It
Tony,
was with Tony.
which Tony never wins playoff games.
Exactly.
Tony is, a great seasoned quarterback. And I know there are a lot of people out there who want Tony to come back. But I'm going to tell you right now, Tony is dominating as a commentator.
I really enjoy.
I like Tony as a commentator.
I really enjoy listening to him comment.
You could tell he's a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it. I could tell that, he's been practicing. Like, usually you can see a transitionary phase.
Yes.
Where they don't know what to do. The other person might carry them a little bit more. But Tony is dominating.
He is. He really is.
Shout out to Tony.
But Jason Garrett, he needs to go. The issue is his relationship with the owner and the front office.
I think
it's gonna keep him there for a few more seasons.
I think Jerry cares more about.
He's going to be the new Marvin Lewis.
I think Jerry cares more about winning than his relationship with Jason Garrett. I believe that. I really believe that wholeheartedly. He cares about winning. And if Cowboy fans are not happy with Jason Garrett and they say we're not going to come to the game, guess who's out of the game? Jason Garrett. Just telling you how I feel.
And I understand that, and part of me do agree with you. But the other part is realizing Jerry likes his peoples.
But at the same time, it's just like Stephen A. talks about, mediocrity. Marvin Lewis, mediocre. The way the Tampa Bay Buccaneer coaches are, they're all mediocre. Jeff Fisher was a mediocre coach. It's time for coaches to take a stand and say, hey, we want to win a championship. Like the Jaguars made a big case to change the way they approach the game.
Yes.
The Rams changed it. You know what I mean? Even small changes to, like, the Raiders. I know they're not doing too good right now, but they made a lot of improvements to where they should be doing well.
Yes.
I think at this point, if they don't get to the next level, the Chiefs will be a part of that mediocrity.
And the Chiefs kind of changed some things now, so they're starting to win some games.
They are, but I think Andy Reid is starting to look more like a Jeff Fisher. Because he can win games during the season, but until he gets over the hump and gets past those New Englands, those Steelers, and I mean not this year, but the Broncos in the past.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to be able to solidify himself as a great coach if we're talking about Super Bowl wins. Getting to the playoffs is great, but it really comes down to winning the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And we don't see that very
often.
often.
After a while, NFL owners get tired of just being one and done.
And I mean, speaking of one and done, there was one guy who was celebrating like there's no tomorrow. I believe he might even brought brown liquor to the studio.
He was.
Shannon Sharpe was a little over happy with the Cowboys being excited. Your thoughts on Shannon? Why is he tripping?
I mean,
is Skip that much of a Cowboy fan?
Yes, he is. He's a diehard Cowboys fan.
Wow.
I mean, I say GG to the Cowboys fan base because that's how I really feel. Good game to them. It was a hard-fought battle. Better luck next year.
It really wasn't.
I know it wasn't.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
But
I'm pretty disappointed.
We're not supposed to tell them.
No, I'm going to tell you. I'm pretty disappointed.
But the way, and of course it's a show. They need to try to entertain people. Shannon Sharpe kind of takes things a little too far, in my opinion.
Sure.
For me, I just feel like it's taken us back a couple of years. Like, you really don't need to act like that.
Absolutely.
Rubbing in someone's face is one thing. I mean, we play video games all the time.
Absolutely.
Boring the bunker and then whistling afterwards. Like,
I don't do that, so I don't know anything about that.
I mean, you do that all the time.
Absolutely not. Probably one of the worst Borderland players of all time.
Oh my
gosh. I am literally the Jeff Fisher of Borderlands.
I mean, I understood why he did it. He does have to go above and beyond kind of thing. Like, he has to be Shannon Sharpe playing Shannon Sharpe.
But the thing is, I don't think that Shannon Sharpe played like this. Like, if they would have had Skip and John Randall, I would have understood this. Skip and maybe Warren Sapp, if they would have had Warren Sapp and Brett Favre out there.
Warren Sapp would have been laughing in his face.
It would be an interesting show.
Warren Sapp would have been laughing all up in his face.
But, I mean, I think that the way they're portraying Shannon, I don't think he's really like that.
I don't think he's like that at all, but he has to play a character.
I mean, we're not playing characters.
No, definitely not.
I mean, I'm Doc, you're Prof.
And we're basically the same way off the podcast.
Absolutely. Minus the beers, I guess.
Fortunately, we was unable to grab any of that today. But
absolutely.
Tonight's Debate Amongst Friends is brought to you by Deer Park Waters. It's refreshing.
taste the springs, I think.
Gosh.
But moving on here, of course, we had some other NFL news. Of course, James Harrison, the longtime Steeler, jumping ship and signing with the Patriots. A lot of people, again, salt. A lot of people hurt by this move. A lot of people feel confused and conflicted. Because James Harrison is such a hard worker. You've seen his workouts on YouTube. You know he's a hard worker. And he goes to the Patriots.
I mean, look at it like this. NFL is a business.
It is.
If an owner trades a player, who was the Eagles player that got traded that he was so passionate about? Is it Daryl Dawkins?
Brian Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins. Like when he left
yes.
when he left Philadelphia, the Philadelphia fan base was pretty, sad about it. He was pretty sad about that.
I could understand that. I mean, I think it's a different situation,
but
though.
eventually they got over it.
I think
because
it was
of
different.
The business.
It was different.
I'm not using it as a apples to apples comparison. I'm just using it to
I
get
can
to
understand that. I guess that's kind of like, when, let's say the Bucks got rid of Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely understand that. And it's interesting when you can see a guy who can still play, because John Lynch also went to the Broncos as Brian Dawkins did and finished out his career.
Yep.
But with James Harrison, I think, there was some minor injuries. He's a, high 30-year-old guy, but he can still rush the passer with the best of them. And he's going to a Patriot team who, again, we talked about a couple weeks ago, just signed Kenny Britt. And now you're talking about bringing in a pass rushing specialist, which a lot of teams could definitely use. I know one team in particular.
And I think that will definitely help out the Patriots
Absolutely.
as we head towards the playoffs.
And who better to bring in somebody? Who better to bring in
than Bill Belichick?
I mean, who better to coach? Yeah, who better to coach you? But who better to bring in right before the playoffs than a former Steelers player?
Absolutely.
I mean, it was genius. But
of course, they talked about whether or not James Harrison's going to divulge any secrets for the game.
Absolutely.
Hey, but okay. I guess talking from a non-football player.
Absolutely.
Is that something that helps the team?
Why would you're talking about the Patriots?
Yeah.
Spygate. Deflategate. Now you're talking about Refereegate.
Refereegate.
We're talking about
which we've been saying that for a couple of years now.
I mean, listen, Belichick's gonna say, "Hey,
we're on to Cincinnati."
No. Wow. Belichick's gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna bring you in. We're gonna let you rush the passer." He knows the linemen. He probably knows the fronts.
Yes.
He probably knows the calls. He probably will be able to go in the film room, even in a short period of time, and show them everything that they're going to throw at him. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm sure the Steelers are going to mix it up. I doubt they'll change their calls very much. But, I mean, James Harrison is going to be going after Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, that's just the truth. So we'll see exactly
He's
what
going to be
happens.
like, after this, I want to go, sucker.
And we coming for you, Ben. Coming for you.
But I mean, what are your thoughts about the videos that came out after his signing with the Patriots of Steeler fans burning his jersey? Like, is that going to become a common thing now?
I think that's always been a common thing. I think people burn things
just because.
I think it's pretty stupid. I mean,
think it's completely dumb.
If you pay money for it, I think I'd rather just sell it than to burn it. I'd sell it and let somebody else burn it. But I've never ever been one to want to burn anything, because who does that? I mean, why would you want to do that?
Why would you do that? Perfectly good jersey, too.
Yeah, I mean, I would sell it, if anything. If you're not feeling it anymore, maybe sell it. But as far as burning it, I think that's actually pretty stupid. But looking over the team, I know some players in particular had some mixed feelings about it. Again, the salt was really real out here. And I think the one thing that was interesting was Marquise Pouncey believed that James Harrison, he erased his legacy.
Yeah.
The whole legacy. And mind you, James Harrison had already left the Steelers once.
He did.
Mid-career.
I believe he went to
the Dolphins, I believe.
Yes. I thought it was the Bengals, but I think it was the Dolphins.
It was the Dolphins. So for him to have erased his legacy is kind of ridiculous just because he signed with the Patriots. I mean, he went from one AFC East team of the Dolphins back to the Steelers, and now he's just going to the Patriots. So obviously, I guess it's because of the playoff.
I think it's because it's playoff time, and he's going to the top contender, the heavy favorite to reach the Super Bowl from the AFC side.
He cleared waivers.
He did.
The Patriots called him.
Mm-hmm.
We want you, kid.
I don't think they call him kid.
You got anything left in the tank? And he probably said,
not only do I have anything left, but I have at least 10 more sacks in me.
Exactly.
I won't say I have one more jackhammer and
one more championship run.
Different people.
That's right. One more championship run, a la Goldberg. That's right. I'm glad you brought that up because you love Goldberg.
No.
But I mean, obviously, that's going to be something to watch in the playoffs. As the Patriots will play the Steelers. Eventually, that fate will come into play.
Absolutely.
But speaking of fate and things that happened recently, we're moving on to the hardwood where we had the NBA Christmas games. Some interesting games. We had the Knicks, Professor John Gotti's Knicks, and a lot of our hometown Jersey folks playing against the 76ers, in which they lost. Obviously, the process in full swing.
They stepped a 5-game losing streak. So
yeah, but I think
you really can't say that. They're having a better season than last season.
Right, and I think that's where it comes down. The process is getting better.
On that spectrum, yes, you're right.
Right.
It's working. But for them, you say that they beat the Knicks, the process is working.
No, I would have said that if they beat whoever they beat. They beat the Rockets a couple of weeks ago. So, the process is working.
Yes.
And I'm hoping, I bring it up because I'm hoping that the Knicks follow a similar process.
And
building around KP.
And I'm always high on just
bringing back a follow.
Chris, we're stopping the show. That's it. I'm done.
You can't walk away. Now we're live, so you can't actually
walk
away. You want Chris.
I'm pulling the Stephen A. Smith.
You want Aaron Follow back on the team. I get it.
I do not.
But
I'm really enjoying what a lot of our young people are doing. Ron Baker, I've been very high on him. He's starting to get more burn. Doug McDermott has been balling.
Yeah.
Enes Kanter has been balling too.
This is true.
On the defensive end, Michael Beasley is shutting a lot of the people who laughed in his face before the season when he said that he can average 30 points a game.
He does have the potential. I don't think he can average 30 points a game next to KP.
No.
I guess you can see, and we'll get to that game later, but even 3 stars can't average 30 points a game. It's just not possible.
It's not possible.
Even the Warriors, those guys aren't averaging 30 points a game. So if he would have said 20 to 25,
like the Warriors this year though, they're kind of trying to spread the ball out though.
And that's my point.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
But really, all that's going to do is maybe get Klay Thompson a few more points than he had last year. But the Knicks, they have so many different players, so many different bigs, so many different options. KP, yes, he's the focal point, but I think with those complementary players, I think the Knicks have a chance to go maybe capture a 7 or 8 seed or get closer to the playoffs than they've been in the last couple of years.
And they could possibly do that, especially if they was able to capture the 7th seed.
Right.
And let's say the playoff starts today.
They play
the Cavs.
They play the Cavs.
And you know what? I like my chances against the Cavs.
I think matchup-wise, I think it would be interesting to see. I would like to see, the likes of Michael Beasley versus LeBron, KP and Tristan kind of go at it. And some of the young bigs, McBuckets, Cantor go against Love.
Yep.
And some of those other guys on the Cavs.
Kuzmiskis,
Kuzmiskis,
Gomez.
exactly. Yeah. Hopefully they don't trade those guys for anybody stupid, but, that's neither here nor there. Chris, keep the camera running. Nick
James Dolan, if you trade to get DeAndre Jordan, I'm coming to New York.
DeAndre and KP, it would be interesting.
No.
Wow. So we're moving on then to the next team where the Wizards beat the Celtics, 111 to 103. I think this is just a regular Eastern Conference game. That can go either way.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I'm not too concerned about that.
Yeah, obviously Kyrie's still shaking and baking. I've seen the videos of him going behind the back. Everybody was like, oh. But you know, I didn't think it was.
Please tell me that was the bench. Please tell me that was the bench.
I feel like it was the bench. It was the media. Like I felt like the cameraman was shaking the camera.
No.
It was just a simple behind the back dribble, but
Of course.
it was like
But
my
it came
God,
out. It came out
he
of
hit
nowhere
him
though.
with the sham god, I think. Like it was like wow, like okay, they lost, so now it doesn't even matter. So the next game we had the Timberwolves, who again have their own thing going. They beat the Lakers without Lonzo Ball, 121-104. Interesting matchup. I think we had the Timberwolves ranked high on our list,
preseason countdown,
because of the Jimmy Butler acquisition.
The Jimmy Butler. They also got Jeff Teague, and like they have the pieces there to start making a run.
Absolutely.
Now they're talking about maybe getting DeAndre Jordan.
So that would be too much. He makes too much money.
He does make too much money.
I like the bigs that they have. I don't think they should add them. I think they just gotta respect. I mean, DeAndre Jordan makes a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money. And then again, it goes back to Q Rich's point about them not going anywhere until they get rid of Jason.
Doc Rivers.
No. I just messed up. We'll skip that part.
We're live.
I know we're live. But I think I was talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. Thibodeau is in Minnesota. Milwaukee has Jason Kidd, but Milwaukee does need to get rid of Jason Kidd.
Yes, they do.
And
That's
just like the Clippers,
that's who Jay Rich was
yeah,
talking about. Yes.
Q Mark.
There we go.
We're good.
It's too many people.
Yeah, it's too
I
many
keep saying
people.
Quentin Richardson. That's why.
You do keep saying Quentin Richardson, but it's Q Mark. I might have said Q.
Because it was the Knicks. I'm sorry.
I might have said
I don't
Q
know
Rich,
why.
but I mean it's Jay Rich,
Jay Rich and Q Mark.
Yeah,
shout outs to both of them as well
yeah,
too.
definitely. And
hopefully they had a pretty good holiday.
Absolutely.
People will be marking out about stuff.
Yeah,
but,
So the next game here, of course, the Rockets versus the Thunders. My team, of course, the Houston Rockets, playing some pretty passionate, inspired basketball, riding a 2-game losing streak. Lost another one here to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Paul George, Melo, and Westbrook. I would have said Russell Wilson, like that commentator said on live TV.
Did.
But that's all right. I didn't do it.
Did.
They combined for 75 points. CP3 didn't play this game.
Nope.
No excuses.
He just inking.
Yeah, no excuses. But I mean,
It's a regular season game though.
I think we're playing some really, really good basketball.
Like before the last 2 games, like people were talking about the Rockets being the alpha male out in the West,
challenging the Warriors,
and I still feel that is a fact.
Challenging
Just because,
the Warriors.
like every good team is going to lose games.
Absolutely.
There hasn't been a team in NBA history to be 82-0.
This is true.
It's not going to start now. Calm down.
I think only way that would happen is if LeBron joins the Warriors.
I've stopped watching basketball.
If LeBron joins the Warriors, I think they could probably.
I'll stop because
games.
I mean, those LeBron maniacs that's gonna run wild on us every single week whenever we mention.
I don't even know how they would do that. They would literally have to.
They're
sign
going to
everybody
do
from the D League. Like the whole roster will be full of second-round picks. They would have to get rid of everybody else. It would literally be those 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't even know if they would be able to keep all 5 guys.
They won't be able to keep all 5.
But
it'll just be LeBron, KD, and possibly Steph.
You don't think they'll be able to keep Draymond?
No.
Wow.
No.
I don't know.
Unless they ask Draymond to do Spurs,
less money?
Yeah.
Nah, they probably would ask Clay to take less money.
That's why Clay's going to be going.
Oh, my God. I think I mentioned this to you, I would like to see Clay go to a team like Phoenix and play with Devin Booker. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see them 2 play together. Hopefully, or he comes to Houston and plays with CP3 and of course James Harden.
Honestly, I think he'll do a lot of damage if he play for a team like the Wizards.
Yeah, I guess he could. I mean, or he
like
could
he'll be he'll be able to play the 3.
He would. I mean, I guess in that situation, he could always replace Gordon Hayward in Utah. But speaking of rumors, I guess, and potential, how do you feel about? And I mean, I hate it because I know that it'll cost us something. But the LeBron James to Houston Rocket rumors. he wants to play with CP3.
Of course he does.
Melo said before the trade happened, they were trying to work it out so they can all go play in Houston.
Of course they do. But remember, though, LeBron James never joined a super team. And remember, KD is a coward because he joined a 73-win team.
Absolutely. So, speaking of LeBron...
You have nothing to say there.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. What can I say? Speaking of LeBron, I mean, the Cavaliers and the Warriors played on Christmas. Obviously, the Cavs lost 92-99. Quote-unquote questionable non-calls. Your thoughts on basketball within the last 2 minutes of the game and foul calls? And we're talking about two stars here. Two superstars. Two monstars.
No, they're not monstars. Let's just stop that. First of all, on one hand, yes, they make a valid case. I have to at least acknowledge that to be unbiased. But
Who makes the valid case?
about the fouls that should have been called. Because I had a chance to watch some stuff with Ronnie Nunn, and he was talking about how things should have been called a foul that wasn't.
But it's the end of the game.
But, and you're right, it's the end of the game. This is where men make their money.
It's the best basketball player in the world.
You are the best basketball player in the world, although we call him the best athlete in the world. But that's besides the point.
The best basketball player in the world.
You got to be able to tough it out.
Yeah. I think that to say that it was a foul, complain about it.
First of all, the referee should have given Matisse for complaining.
Well, that was another thing, is that they were complaining. I saw on the notifications that KD should have got another technical earlier in the game.
Because this part was stupid. So I was able to watch the actual highlight clip of it too. So there was a foul called.
Right.
Jose Calderon committed the foul on KD.
I saw
KD, with the ball at his chest, walked up to Jose Calderon and put the ball at Jose Calderon.
And they thought he should have.
And they thought they should have given the T.
And throw him out of the game.
Yes.
You know that's not going to happen.
That was so... What? Like, I felt like we were going back to the Heedle days.
Well, you know...
This person touched my ear. Get him out the game. Suspend him for 10 games. Get him out of here.
Well, Chris Bosh is not around, so, I mean, that's the only reason that kind of that's the only reason it's not happening.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
I get it.
But you
it sounds,
understand what I'm saying.
We didn't watch it. We didn't watch the game, of course, but looking at it, it looks like the game might have been a little emotional. Obviously, it's a finals rematch.
Yeah.
You know, might have, of course, got a little chippy. These guys are competitors.
It's going to happen. Compete to win the game.
Absolutely.
If you're not going to compete, then don't play.
It's more realistic for KD to block LeBron. And I think that if anybody else would have been guarding LeBron, they would have called it a foul.
Yes.
And sometimes I think the refs really go based on believability.
Yes.
You know, how realistic is this? He had he had to have been fouled. He had to have been fouled.
Like, can I say something that might sound so far-fetched?
Please.
Is it possible that NBA basketball players are now more committed to flopping than professional soccer players now?
I think so. I think flopping might be trained. There might be a
sports academy that now teaches basketball players how to flop.
When they're going over, and
the sports academy is owned by LeBron James.
Yeah, when they're going over agilities and speed drills, I think there might be some flopping drills in there. Of course, Princess Peach was a good one. Andrew Bogut, Princess Peach himself.
Is he still in the league?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Well, that princess is not in any castle.
Yeah, somewhere Mario's trying to save him.
Wow.
But, I think that ultimately the flopping is real. I know a lot of people say James Harden flops, but, I think James Harden, although he does create the contact.
He creates contact.
I think Kobe kind of started that, or whoever started that with the pump fake. I think it was Kobe.
It was Kobe.
And then jumping into the player. But, I think people just
But they changed that rule finally.
People just started taking it a little further, which caused it to be a little too much.
All I can remember was during the finals and LeBron did that flop. and it was actually his own teammate who hit him.
Oh, with the
Yep.
oh
Yep.
with the swing of the hand. I think it was Tristan Thompson.
It was Tristan Thompson.
And he was like,
And you know why? You know why I don't remember his name? Because he's completely irrelevant.
he is. I think the last relevance was that he was dating a Kardashian, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know if that's still happening.
So going back on track.
But I mean, replay at the end of the game for fouls. They don't do replay for fouls. They do replay for
fouls.
flagrants.
They do replays for
Possession,
flagrant possessions.
You know, not fouls.
No, they don't do it for fouls.
So, I mean, the argument, hey, there was a foul, like, the game's over. You know what I mean?
Game's over. Time to go to the showers.
When you look back this week, it seems like it was a lot of complaining because even...
You know, just like what happened with your Bucks.
That's what I was about to say.
Like,
You seen Jameis Winston was, like,
whoo,
you know, having a meltdown.
And you know what? I would have completely supported him if he would have stole off on that ref.
Can't do that. That's a suspension. That's $50K. Probably maybe even more. He might get banned.
I'm not encouraging him to do it. I'm saying the emotions were high.
It was.
And had he chose to do that, I would not fault him for doing so.
It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of what movie that was. He said, I just get sick and tired of losing. Any Given Sunday.
Yes, it was Any Given Sunday.
Willie Beeman, you know, this is maybe his first start. And he's like, I'm just sick and tired of losing, coach. And of course, the coach says, you know, when you get my age, you kind of get used to it. But Jameis is like, Jameis right now is the Willie Beeman of the sort. Hey, I'm tired of losing.
Yeah, he is tired of losing.
LeBron doesn't have this problem. They win.
Quite often.
So you trying to tell me.
In fact,
you can't.
The Eastern Conference has been renamed the LeBron Conference.
You can't tough out, drive into the lane. You're definitely stronger than KD. I know he's stronger than KD.
Of course.
There's no way he muscles people for fun.
He does.
So I'm not trying to hear that he can't fight through these little baby fouls.
Exactly.
And KD did get some of the ball. He got some wrist. Sure, in the second one, he definitely got more wrist on the second one than the first one. But that's basketball.
It is basketball. Play on.
That's why I'm glad that they can't call their own fouls like we do on the street. Could you imagine? Oh, my God.
Well, I don't even call my own fouls on the street.
I mean,
I get elbowed in the eye. Like, I don't care. I'm still make the shot.
But see, he's not making the shot.
Well, then that means he's not the best basketball player in the world then.
He's the best basketball player in the world.
He's the best athlete in the world.
Hey. So, looking at the final topic here, of course, we do have the college football playoffs this weekend. Don't you talk about playoffs. They're just trying to win another game.
They are. 2, actually.
2? Basically, well, there's 0-1 in this situation. You can't go 0-1.
You can't go 0-1.
You can go 1-1, technically, but you can't go 0-1 in this situation.
Well, if you're 1-1, that means you're the runner-up.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. There's
but
no 1-1.
The college football playoffs, we're going to offer our predictions because we have the games this upcoming weekend. We have Georgia, the Bulldogs, against the Oklahoma Sooners. Who you got, sir, and why?
It's so hard. I was looking at this before the show. I know you guys saw the pre-show. You know, we were taking our notes. We're working on this particular spreadsheet here that I'm looking at, my notes. And I left it blank here so I can give you my raw emotion on this. I really, truly believe that the Georgia Bulldogs are going to beat this game.
Win this game?
They're going to beat this game.
They're going to beat this game?
They're going to beat this game.
Wow.
They are going to beat Baker Mayfield. They're going to beat up on the receivers. They're going to beat up on the running backs. I don't know if it's going to be a big win, but I feel like the Georgia defense is going to come with a little bit of ferociousness. Yeah, like, I mean, they're going to really come and play hard against Oklahoma.
I can understand that.
So I'm picking Georgia, number 3, Georgia.
I can understand that, and Georgia had a heck of a season.
Sure.
Their defense is pretty much possibly the best defense out of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably say Clemson's
maybe
number 1.
second, yeah.
Yeah, Clemson's number 1. But
only because of Alabama's injuries.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's football.
Yes.
It happens.
Absolutely.
But, sir, I'm going to have to go the other way.
Definitely understand.
And it's because I watched so many Oklahoma games this season. Minus the losses that they had, especially the one Big Ten championship game. It's hard to bet against Baker Mayfield.
It is.
He has something in him that rubs people the wrong way, but it's that fire that we keep looking for within quarterbacks.
It's Johnny Manziel.
He doesn't have that much trouble with the law, though.
He doesn't. I mean, but you say he got arrested. He did the whole
He got
flag in
arrested
the
for
middle of the
I
the
like the
field.
flag part.
He started talking trash after one game.
He did tell the
All
people from
only
Kansas
thing was
State.
missing was this.
He did tell the people in K-State to stick to Kansas, to tell them to stick to basketball. That was funny though.
All he was missing is this.
But that was hilarious though.
I mean,
because they were trying to bully him. But they're the best offensive team.
I think Georgia's gonna punch him in the mouth.
And I think it's gonna be intriguing to watch. But I'm putting my money on Oklahoma.
I mean, last time Oklahoma manned up, their jaw got stolen, and that's this weekend.
They might be listening to that.
Hey.
Oh my god.
I hate October.
Oh no! What?
The next game.
We got the Roll Tide
Now I'm gonna tell you.
versus Clemson. Who do
I
you got?
love Alabama. I mean,
Nick
I
Saban.
love Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I love the running backs, the receivers, but they have so many injuries. I just don't know if they can overcome those. I'm actually going to pick Clemson to win this game. I just feel like they have their number. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I really believe it's going to be Clemson versus Georgia in the championship. I hope I'm wrong. I really would rather see Alabama because I love Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
I think he's a great quarterback, young quarterback. Hopefully he goes to the NFL as a quarterback. But I'm going Clemson, Georgia.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going Clemson in this one. I said Clemson is the best defense out of the four.
This is true.
And that defense of Alabama is too beat up to really recover.
Yeah, I mean, they have great players. I'm sure they have 3 and 4 star players behind their starters, but the linebackers that they lost, the depth it's just not there. They lost to Auburn.
It's hard to recover from that.
Yeah, you could tell within their loss to Auburn that it just wasn't. They're just not the same team.
Yes.
And even Jalen Hurts couldn't pull that rabbit out of his hat.
Think about it like this: we would not be talking about Alabama had Wisconsin won their game.
True. This is true. But now we're not going to be talking about Alabama because Clemson's going to whoop on them.
Yep.
So you have it here, debate amongst friends. Doc says Clemson and Georgia. Prop says Clemson and Oklahoma. We'll see. We will definitely give you our championship game prediction once that comes out. But for now, those are our predictions. And it's time to move to final thoughts, sir.
Yes, sir. What do you got, sir?
So we have the Papa John CEO, John Shatner, stepping down as CEO of Papa John's after criticizing the NFL with their anthem protest.
Yes.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was a long process. I mean, he might have said those things months ago.
It was months ago.
Yeah, but now he's stepping down. It's kind of weird. Maybe their numbers took a dive. I mean, it could just be that your pizza sucks, but I mean, sure, it's because he.
Papa John's might be giving us pizza.
Hey, if they're giving us pizza, if they send me pizza right now, then I will recant that statement. But if not, Papa John sucks, and I'm standing to it. But obviously he believes that it's because of the NFL protests, but in reality, your crust is just too dry. In New York, Eli Apple suspended by the Giants for displaying behavior that is detrimental to the team. I've heard that statement before. Most likely he'll probably be cut or he'll be given some kind of warning. I'm not too sure where they're going to go with him. I know certain Giant fans say he's not good anyway. So why is he even taking the field? Let's not just suspend him. Let's just release him right now. But, of course, we'll have to go through that and see how that works.
I mean, personally, I think they should have kept Prince Amukamara.
I thought so, too, but his hamstring just never really was
and that
healthy.
was his Achilles heel,
but I think,
Achilles hamstring.
Achilles hamstring. I see what you
see what I did there?
That was a good one. Let's see, two more here. I know Reggie Jackson has a grade 3 ankle sprain, so he's out 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully, the Pistons can, be good. I mean, I don't really know if they're doing good, but hopefully they don't get worse and challenge teams for the number 1 pick. Hopefully, they can get it over the Cavs. And then lastly, I thought this was an interesting final thought here. The Chiefs are going to start Patrick Mahomes versus the Broncos after clinching their playoff bye. Actually, no, their playoff berth.
Yes.
And I think that's
Wait,
interesting.
I thought they also clinched the AFC West.
They did. It was clinching the AFC West, but they don't get a
They
bye.
don't get a bye though.
So
they get a home game though.
They do. So they're going to start Mahomes versus the Broncos to kind of see what they got.
See what we got.
So let's see what he's got. Hopefully he doesn't steal, Alex Smith's job in this particular game. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's true. I mean, you don't. I would be mad if I was Alex Smith because number one, now you're talking about giving up my starting, that starting record, where it's like, hey, this guy started 90,000 games,
I see what you did
and then they put somebody else in the game, and then I come back and start the next game like nothing happened after the coach gets fired. I mean, that's just the way it goes, but we'll see what happens. Those are my final thoughts, sir.
The first one I have, you mentioned me talk about it before, Capcom Cup champion, Mena RD. He actually is trolling people.
There's nothing wrong with trolling. I troll.
The character he won the tournament with, Birdie, very slow character, but high damaging output.
Sure.
He said that is not his main character.
So he beat people with his second.
In fact, yes, it's been one of his secondaries.
So he's been trolling, basically saying
he's been trolling. So he beat the Evolution 2017 champion Tokido, the Demon, with Birdie.
Who did Tokido play with?
He played with Akuma and got beat free.
I mean, Akuma's good. As long as
He
nobody
lost
played
like
with
5 rounds
Zangief.
straight.
As long as nobody played with Zangief, I think I'm
But
good with it.
the reason I'm mentioning that is there's now been speculations as far as like who is his actual main. People are talking about Abigail, which was one of the newer characters that came out. Laura as well too. I see what you did there.
But really, who cares? I mean, if he's dominating, they really.
And he is dominating.
Yeah,
but now
who cares?
people now gonna start saying, well, who is his real main? Like, I want to see his real main.
So
I don't think he's that good now. Like, people are going to start saying these things.
What do you mean you don't think he's that good? If he just beat you with
I
his secondary, I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If he just beat you with a secondary character,
like that's like
matter.
back in my heyday for Street Fighter, and I beat people with Dan.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Like destroying people with Dan, but they know when I pick Ken,
right?
It's on the popping. I am not losing this game.
That's what I'm saying. So. I mean, I don't think it matters. I mean, first, second. I mean, it's like me playing Borderlands now with Maya. Now I just get it.
I see what you did there.
I get it. Everybody else is secondary.
I see what you did there.
She's primary. She dominates in the game, and who cares?
I see.
Who cares?
Yes. Doc Ocean is. I guess that's another final thought. Doc Ocean is finally in love with Borderlands 2,
yes.
Playing with the Siren Maya.
If you're wasting your time with any of those other characters in Borderlands, don't even waste your time. Go straight to the Siren. Maya Mahal.
No,
so great.
You're not supposed to say that. No.
Modern day.
No.
Siren
No.
Yes, you go ahead and you pick her right now. It'll change your gaming experience.
But my other final thought, Doc, we went to Evolution 2017, didn't we?
It was a mystery.
We had a great time, right?
We did.
It was in Las Vegas, right?
It was in Vegas.
2018, though.
2018.
Starting January 25th. Evolution returns. But it is not in America, ladies and gentlemen. Evolution Japan will be taking place at the end of January. It has almost the same amount of games that's going to be played as Evolution.
It's going to be interesting.
And it's going to be interesting. Of course, we're not going to be able to make it because it's Japan.
I mean, you never know. Things might change for us, of course. And you just never know. Papa John's might start throwing money at us. So
I don't think they're gonna throw money at us, especially after that comment. I don't think they're gonna do that.
You just never know. Stella might come in.
Hey.
You know, freaking, all those sponsors might come in and just start throwing money at us.
And I'm okay with that.
Even Vince McMahon might come up and say, "Stop talking about my hand. I'll give you money to stop talking about my hand."
I mean, we can't talk about his grapefruit. That's all.
Exactly. And other.
But the games that's going to be played out there is Street Fighter V, Tekken 7, Guilty Gear, Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U, not Melee. Blaze Blue, King of Fighters 14, and ARMS. So it's about the same amount of games. There's a couple of them that's not going to be there, like Injustice 2.
I'm curious, though, how many people, from America are going to be able to make it. I know those with sponsorships might be able to get the tickets. I'm not sure, Rick Fox is putting out a whole bunch of money.
He's definitely everyone from Echo Fox is going to be out there. Justin Wong is going out there as well, too, because he's from Echo Fox.
I guess if they buy group tickets, it might not be too bad.
They kind of have things pretty much prearranged.
Or I guess, with Rick Fox, he probably has his own private jet.
Exactly.
So, we need to join Echo Fox.
Hey,
Echo Fox. This guy right here.
Oh my gosh. No, you did not just say that. He could be infiltration.
Wow.
He called him out on our first Evolution trip, and he called him a pissant.
This is a lie. Don't believe this. This guy can beat everybody. The top 10, this guy.
My last thought is, and we talked about this, the NBA Players Association and the Referee Association, the National Basketball Referee Association,
sure,
met up about the ongoing and growing tension between the referee committee and the players. And, I mentioned the most prime example were the Warriors at the beginning of the season. The case of the Sean Livingston and the referee who bumped heads. Yeah. And they both got suspended for a game.
This is true.
Well, now you're also starting to see referees start to throw their weight a lot more by throwing text. Not to role players, not to people on the bench, not to the, 10th person off the bench. Nope, the star players are getting text this year.
Well, maybe they just, got tired of it and said enough is enough.
And it's time for a change. And I was going to say that too.
That's all right.
But they didn't really say so much as far as what's happened after the beating, but they did that meeting.
Well, maybe they're just tired of being bashed.
They get tired of, looking like the bad guy all the time.
Being picked on by, 6, 7 foot monsters.
But, at this point now, they're going to have to do that because they are a catalyst, or at least we could say maybe even the league office is a catalyst to why the NBA is SAWFT.
Soft.
And that's a fact, ladies and gentlemen.
It is a fact. I just hope that the NBA doesn't turn into the NFL with replay and slowing the game down. And
I'm okay with the replay.
I don't want that. Foul. Was that a foul? That might have been a foul. Let's go to the replay.
No, I don't care about that because even the NFL doesn't do that for pass interference and stuff.
Unless it's the Patriots.
Of course, if it's only the Patriots. Because, Roger Goodell and... Anywho... So, before we go and say our goodbyes, we are at the end of 2017. We have been doing this for almost 2 years.
Yes.
And what we failed to do last year, we're going to do it this year.
Absolutely.
We appreciate all of the artists that allow us to use their music.
Absolutely.
As our outro track. Also, big shout outs to Croup for providing us the intro track, which still just makes us nod our heads every single time we listen to it.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
Consistently. For a year.
But we want to provide to you, out of all the outro tracks that we played in 2017, which one we favored the most and why?
I think for me, I remember this track. Got a chance to listen to some tracks earlier. I remember Lou Charles, Hall of Fame. I remember because we were going to talk about LeBron James that night, and it just so happens that in the song he mentioned LeBron James right from the beginning. But I think the overall flow of it was great. I think that was around a time where, right before I became a copyright infringer, so it was kind of perfect. this particular song kind of kicked off my selecting music career. Unfortunately, a few weeks later, it was ruined. But Lou Charles, Hall of Fame, if you get a chance, check it out. Or go back to episode 39.
There you go. For me, before I say that, I want to give big shout outs to a lot of the artists that, I know personally.
Absolutely.
Ashley I,
I'm a big fan.
Our boy from across the pond. We see you, man. Appreciate everything you've done. Substantial. Shout outs to you, man. Definitely provides for some banger tracks.
Yes.
Tone Deaf. The entire Q&5 crew. As well as Zay Tabani as well, too. He helped us with a couple of the tracks that he did. But my track, and Mega Ran. Mega Ran. Our brother from Philly who lives out in the desert.
Yeah, and even your friends from Jersey City.
Yes, Drum and Tantrum.
Drum and Tantrum. They had a great track.
I thought that was 2016. I thought that was 2016.
I think we used a second song in 2017.
We didn't use a second.
Or maybe we were going to.
We was going to.
Maybe that's what it is.
But still, shout out to Drum and the Tantrum.
Yeah.
You know who you are, man. Appreciate it all, man. Definitely I want to make sure I did not forget about you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for
absolutely.
But the track that I really liked this year is a track I've been listening to for years, and finally had the opportunity to get it past the dock so we could play for the outro track.
Absolutely.
CJ the Genesis.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The name of the track was Rain. I mean, it's one of those tracks, man. I mean, if you're driving at night and you just need something to just get you in that mood, that song does it. If you're just sitting at home and it's raining outside and you just need to relax and just get yourself back into that mood, that song does it. It just does it.
I think that all the music that we played this year, I think it's been great. I'm really looking forward to people submitting their music.
Absolutely.
Of course, shout out to Jay Sell. Of course, he's out there. But I really look forward to having more music artists and music guests like we had Ashley I on the show. Really looking forward to having those guys come on so that we can blend music and sports. And really just bring it together.
Absolutely.
So as 2017 comes to an end, we definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, you can catch all of our 2017 shows on YouTube, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all of your podcast platforms. And
just search for Debate Amongst Friends.
Debate Amongst Friends. And I think that is it, sir.
And also be sure to follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/Debate Amongst Friends.
I think I'm pointing down.
It's down in the description. Yes, we can actually point down.
Yeah, we can do that.
You can also join the Debate Among Friends group. Facebook.com/groups/Debate Among Friends.
Our favorite Twitter handle.
@Debate Among Fra. You can follow our Instagram. Just like he said before, look at our SoundCloud for a lot of the old episodes, iTunes, any and all podcast apps, whether you're on Android or iOS. Just type in Debate Amongst Friends. Once again, we definitely appreciate it. You can follow myself @Kin86 on Twitter.
And I am TL Double on Twitter.
So tonight's track, we're going to end this one on a pretty good note.
Finally.
Found this track. It's from the artist known as The Regiment. It's from their EP called One Step, it's actually the same title as well too. Found this today actually.
Hey,
it's actually pretty good.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
I'm just saying.
Where'd you find it on? The
Bandcamp. It was on Bandcamp.
This one time
in
Bandcamp, John Gotti found this song that he's about to play for you right now.
I think we're going to stop the show now. But thank you all very much for listening to us. Whether it's tonight, one time during the year, or throughout the entire year, we appreciate it. Be sure to give us a like on the YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to comment down below with your thoughts, suggestions. We definitely appreciate it all. We are very active with speaking with people, so don't be shy.
And also make sure to send us your music if you have any feedback or suggestions, or if you're interested in doing your own show, please don't hesitate to send us an email at debateamongstfriends@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to respond to you within 24 hours.
Excellent. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of 2017, so for the last time of this year, I am the Professor John Gotti.
And I am Dr. Wednesday Night himself.
And we'll catch you again next year.
Next year.
Same podcast time.
Same podcast channel. Taste the Ocean.
Peace and love.
I know I'm blessed to see the sunrise, but I still fail to realize my dreams felt like selfish ambition. Dedicated most of my life to try to make you listen and see my vision through it all. It was like trying to describe Roy G. Biv to Ray Charles in 4 letters love. I cry for blood while they playing through the pages, splattered on stages, stained in my heart, smeared by shirts and crooked snakes, backstabbers for shapes that make shallow rates go country. Extreme get a light on for corporate survival. Organized noise that spark confusion. The illusion of not needing God. Forward our faith against odds. I encourage in Christ. Why gamble with your life in the game of fixed dice? Think twice before you make that ultimate price. For real. Take it 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Can't lose focus. Now we on track. See, he made us to praise. His love is amazing. He made us to praise. His love is amazing. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Can't lose focus. Now we on track. See, he made us to praise. His love is amazing. Yeah, he made us to praise. His love is amazing. So ashamed like Adam in the garden. Pardon my soul and delivery. He delivered me like a physician practitioner. This soliloquy means nothing without truth. I mean, at least speaking biblically, right? They honor me with their lips. Hearts is far from the one who saved us and made us. So what is the outcome? I sin and apologize, hoping you hear. Then doubting my salvation, hope I'm speaking clear. Maybe you've been there, on again, off again. Counting transgression, is this a sin? That is sin. Till I realized that he want relationship, not a slave. Stumbled down the road to redemption, his blood paid. Others have worshipped the caves, living in fear. We seek reserve as Christians, like we're fearing to live. Be surrendered to his will, a new beginning. It's such a privilege. Taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Can't lose focus. Now we on track. See, he made us to praise. His love is amazing. He made us to praise. His love is amazing. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Can't lose focus. Now we on track. See, he made us to praise. His love is amazing. Yeah, he made us to praise. His love is amazing. I use this element to channel my pain. A fresh dose of hope. Push the injected to my veins. From a vision we created, believe. How the dream so hard, my stomach started to bleed. In the ear, like God, please. Let me breathe while I'm gasping for air. I couldn't bear failure. While this takes getting familiar, my crew letting go. Like Geronimo, a domino effect. Opposite of intellect and not regret. Running the sin full speed, no half stepping. Moonwalking, usher on mic, so backsliding. Jesus said it best, you know that it was written. You can't live by bread alone, he's so risen. Don't chase it, I used to. Woman abuser, I used to. Emotions and Trojans, I violated with Lucifer at my backside, praying that I